All right. Good evening, everyone. So, welcome to today's class. Today we'll be looking at AR and VR design. We're using um, Figma. So, just to have an idea of how to go about the interface. But if you really want to enter deeply into this, there are there are better platforms or better applications out there like Bezier and Unity 3D and there are a lot that you could work with, all right, if you really want to enter fully into this. So, but today's class, you just have to have an idea of how the interfaces look like. See how we can also implement the best practices we talked about last class, which we the principles which we state there has to be clarity, there has to be accessibility and comfort, and which we also talked about natural interaction, all right, and also there should be user guidance and consistency across realities. So I think today I was still deliberating on which industry or which part of applications of AR, VR we should put into consideration today. Whether we should go into the retail or the e-commerce section of it, or education, training, healthcare, entertainment, and media, or the navigation part. So I think let's go into the entertainment part of it. All right. So let's assume let's assume a particular company reach out to you, like let's take for an instance Netflix, all right, reach out to you that they want an application or they want an interface that they can use on the a VR headset or AR headset, all right. So how do you come up with those interface and how will they interact? Okay, so I think we can let's see. Um, who can remind us of what AR and VR means? All right, so we know that AR is augmented reality and VR is visual reality. So when we said augmented reality, what do we mean by that? So let's see. Before let's be sure that we are following. Anybody?
Like you said last week, AR is just the partial fulfillment of the reality stuff. Probably like video game, the part of it. Why VR, it is fully immersed. Everything is controlled fully by it. I don't know if I get that right.
Okay. Yeah, you said it. So we said that visual VR it's where you are fully taken out of the real world and then placed inside the digital one, and then AR, you're still aware of your environment. All right, you're still aware of your environment. Take for an example, you are playing a video game and then you have all the accessories outside the elements, but all the elements you have outside are also inside. Okay, and then just in the process of you, all right, taking on with it. Whereas when it comes to visual reality, right, so you are just with the headset or eye sun glasses, all right, then you are now taking out you feel as if you are out inside of the platform or inside of that reality, all right. So that's what the difference between the two, right? So let's just jump into Figma and then see what we can achieve today. So let's see. Okay, so as I said, so we are going to be designing for an entertainment industry, right? So let's say, for an example, they reached out to us and like, oh yes, we want a platform where we can use and then people can maybe while they are traveling, while they are in their sitting room, they can just watch movies through it. All right. So I just pray we can take up the entire we are going to just take a user story. Your users can see the home screen, and then you can also view the details of can see other movies that are there. I think so. We'll just do with those, so we can't go into a full product. Maybe in your tax it could be complete. It could be complete the flow. But anyways, that's by the way. So let's start. Let's move on with the design. So first of all, what are the key components we'll be needing for this? So there are some basic icons that we'll need. I did not bring up all those stuff because I want us to do it from scratch. And also there's some other, we need cards like a way we show the videos, and also where we can yes see I think we'll be doing with two categories, I think, or three, where you can see the recent, and also maybe you can continue watching, and also maybe a trending video. Right. So we also have a sage bar, and also we also have a nav bar. So let's just jump into it. So the first thing we are going to do is we are going to bring in a frame. So this frame, because of the um, plugin we are going to use in this. So we are going to use it so that it will favor. So let's look at the plugin. So the plugin is Draft XR. All right. So this is the name of the plugin is Draft XR. So if we load it, it's if you are a new user, you will need to register. Like so let's see, why is it not coming up? So you will need to register, and then it will take just a minute, which when you register, then you'll be given a token, which you will now bring in, and then your draft will be your draft XR will now be activated. All right. So we have, this is the frame, this is the dimension of frames you are going to use. All right. So we are going to use this. So I'm just going to copy this out and then drop it somewhere here, because I want us, let me extend this so that it can be clear. So I'm just going to take that out now. So let's bring in our frame. So this is 1920. I think 1920 should be, let's see, 1920. Okay, so it's not. All right, so our presentation. Yeah, presentation is 1920. Yeah, let me just bring this up. So we're using 1920 by 1080, which is exactly what we have here. All right. So that's for presentation slide. All right. So I'm just going to rename this to maybe our container. All right. So I'm just going to rename this to our container. Right. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in a background. So I have a background here that I'll be using for this, and I will be using maybe probably the day part of it for this. Okay, so let me align it. So this is the background I'll be using for this. So I've made it such that I can either switch from day to night because of the reason for the class. So I'm just going to take this out because I don't like seeing my, so where should I put this? Let me just put it somewhere. I don't want to see it around. Okay. Then so I said we are going to need a nav bar. So for our nav bar, that's the first design we are going to work on. All right. So that's the first design we are going to work on, or that's the first element we are going to work on, the top nav bar. So I'm just going to keep this aside, then create a frame. All right. So let's Or let me make it a frame because I want my components to be here. So I'm just going to rename it to components. All right, so I need a frame. So first of all, what I need is I need a search bar. Yeah. So I'll just create this first. Not with sorry. So I'm just going to use my frame to create this. Then I will make this to be for let's say 88. All right. So this is going to be 88 in terms of the height. But anyways, it doesn't really matter because in the process of us working on it, we'll have to use auto layouts when we are there. So I'm going to yeah. So just so I'll need another one here, which I'm going to call it icon. Let me just take it out here. Let it stay on its own. So I'm just going to call this icon. So let me bring in some icons that we are going to use. Iconify. Alright, so think I will need a home. I will need home. I will need home. All right. I will need home. I love my design or my icons being modern. So I need a modernized. So I'm just going to pick. So why I create a frame first before I pick up my icon is because I want to direct my icon to where I want it to be, right? Most times when you select on it without selecting a frame, so it will just go to somewhere wherever you want, you feel like it's going to, and you will not be able to use. You have to come and be searching for it. Now I think there is a particular yeah. This is what I want. Okay, I always like this icon. Boom. All right, so the next icon I'll be looking for is search. So I need search. I don't want it to be that okay. I need search. I also need download. Yeah. So I want to be consistent. I would have taken this broken because of, but I think this is the type I used. So I'm just going to use that. So I think we will need profile. All right, we'll need profile. I think we might also need settings. We might also, so all of them are just outline. So I've not picked any field because I don't need a field. So you just be consistent with the type of icons you are picking. All right. So I need settings, and my settings, I'm just going to look for something more. Yep. Okay. So I think I need notification too. I need notification too. So I need notification. Um, so let's pick this. Then I need arrow down. I need arrow. So I can pick anyone. Then I can now make it to what I want. All right. I can pick anyone, any of these. So I'll pick this other one. Then think for now. Okay. We will need a media. Is that right? Okay, so let's not pick a media. So we'll call it play. Okay, so I need a play button. So my play button, I want this. Oh yes, let's pick this. Yep. Okay. Then yeah, I think that's basically all we might need for this. So okay, I need cancel too. I need cancel. I need a cancel without a border. So let me pick this up. Then I think yeah, I think that's basically it. Okay, I think I need lock. Lock. I have to be consistent. Hmm. I love this particular type of lock, but it will not be. We need to pick what users are used to. All right. So let me just pick this up. Then I think I need refresh. Did I pick that lock? Right. Did I pick its lock? Seems I did not, because it's not selected here. Or is it? Okay, so let's so I'm going to import them. So if we need another one, then I might bring. So I'm going to export them as a component. So all right, so there we are. So you can see all of them are here and they are inside this. So I'm just going to combine as variants, all right, because I with one button I want to be able to select others at once instead of me coming back to my asset and then trying to pick up another another icon. Maybe the next one that will come up, if I have a need for it, I will have to use a different part for it. So I'm just going to rename this to icons. All right, so I'm just going to drop this somewhere here. All right, so let's begin the design. So I want this to be rounded, so I'm just going to use not 100. Then for now, I'm just going to put a I'm just going to put a stroke so as to enable me see what I'm doing. So I'm just going to pick one icon here and then paste it. Yeah, but there is something I need to do for you. So 24 by 24 is fine. So I will put this in an auto layout. So I need an auto layout for this 40 by 40. I want it to breathe a little. So let's see first 30. Then fill container. Okay. Yeah. So mind you, we are not designing we are not designing with our, so I'm just using a color here because I just want to, I will reset it to how I want it to be. So I'm just going to duplicate it and then remove this fill because I don't want a fill here. I also want a fill here. So I'm just going to turn it to a component and then have a variant of it. So this is my state that is just, and this is could be, I will take this as my active state. So yeah. So let me see something. What do I have here? Um let me use something like this. All right, so I'm just going to take this and drop it here. All right, so when designing, please be mindful of how you are designing. Use your 8-point system very well. So you can see here is 44, but remember this is not what users are seeing. Users are not seeing this 40, sorry. They are seeing this particular section, but you can see since I'm using an 8-point system consistently, so moving from this section, the main where my arrow is, or sorry, where my icon is, so people are still seeing is still consistency 48. So I'm just going to duplicate it again and then put this. I'm using an arrow here, so what's my spacing here? So this is 10, but I want it to be consistent, so I'm going to use 16. So I'm just going to change okay, so yeah, so I'm just going to change this. Remember I made it, so I'm just going to use an arrow. That means because of this approach I'm taking, I think I might need an arrow. I might need a different sort of arrow. So the reason why this is this way is because this should be not your container. This should be fixed. Okay. I don't want it to extend from this. So let's see. We are having hog here, but I don't want hog. I want it to be fixed. I want it to be fixed at 40. I don't want it to expand more than that. Okay. So if I now switch an arrow here, let's take for an example, taking an arrow here. Okay, this arrow is because of, let's see. So this arrow is 12 by 24. 24, 24. I need a better arrow for this. Yeah, it is still, but I don't like the way it's stretching. It's stretching my, yeah. All right, so I'm just going to duplicate this, then take this. Let's take this out. So this, I'm going to revert it to face this way. Then, thing. All right, so I want this to have a background. I just love it when it has a background. Okay, so then the next thing we are going to do is we need this. Your height is 40, so be consistent with your height. So we need an input where users can input their say where they can input their website link. So I'm just going to call this let's say 48. So I'm going to call this www.codecamp. Codecamp.com. Then put this in an auto layout and make it 16. Yeah, and then give it a bridging 24 over here. This is still too much, so 24 is okay for my search. So I'm just going to take it down here, align it. Well, having 61 here. So my font here is what determines how this comes up as. Okay, so I need an icon over this section. So if you remember how your interface looks like when you are looking at your Chrome or whatever, you will see there's always maybe a lock screen somewhere here. So I'm just going to duplicate this because I need a two. I need probably three too. Okay, so here we are going to have it without this. So here is going to be our lock. So I'm just going to call it lock. Where is it? Sage notification profile, home console, download, lock. Then over here, I want users to able to use their voice too. So I need mic. Did I bring that up? I think I did not. Okay, so I'm going to go and do that later. So, but here is going to be my refresh. So yeah, refresh. So these sections are, yeah, I can decide to still allow it to be few or not. All right, so let's remove this from this section. So let me go back to my, I need a mic. Okay, so now there is going to be a little bit challenge here because except I'll have to create an instance here. So I'm just going to create an instance here, icon, so that I can change this without having to. So I'm just going to call this mic. I think this might be even easier for us to work with this. So I'm going to expand this, but I want this and this to be together, and I want this and this to be more, no, this should stay alone and this should be more closer. So I'm just going to remove it from auto layout, auto. to probably 8, and then use hawk container. Remove this, or you can still allow it, but here it doesn't really matter. So I'm going to add a stroke to it just for now. So we are going to tweak it later. This should be rounded. So we are almost there. So the next thing I will want to add is going to be some other icons towards this section. So what I will do is I will put this in an auto layout, then duplicate this, take this to this other side. So if I shift this, or I don't really need to, I can just put them together here and then shift this section this way. If I want to expand it more, then I can tell this should be probably 650. Not this, yeah, 650. Then this should be towards. Okay, so here I need 3 icons here, right? I need one to be for download, then I need one to be for history, and I need the other to be for let's say okay, let's just pick it first. History. Did I bring an history? No, I didn't. So we'll need an history for this. And also we have download here. I think I don't know how that went. So let me just take it this way. What did we use? It was download. So why did it not come up? Then the next one, this I'll need cancel for this. I need cancel for this. So this should be field container. So as this is truncating my 24, okay. So I will remove not really. So let's just make sure we have then we can now fine tune it to become how we want it to be. All right, so think we are almost done with this section. So what we want to do is I'll just turn this to a component so that if I want to refine any other thing, I can come back and then refine it. So here we are. So we have this here. So we have this here. So I'm just going to maintain, use 80 here, or probably 64. Okay, so another, I need a section towards this end where users will be able to see, let's say, every other thing they want to. Okay, so I'm going to create a nav bar towards here. All right, so I need a nav bar. So we are done with this particular, I need a menu bar at this end. So I will still go back to this section. So what I will do here is I'm just going to, let's take this towards here, right? So I'm just going to duplicate this, and then detach the component. All right, then you can detach components by right clicking, and then you see detach instance, then you detach the instance. So the reason why I'm doing that is I don't want to start over another design, so I just want to use this, and then we can now take this down. Then this is going to be hawk, right? And then this, I'll just remove one section from here, probably this section, then take this down, right? So yeah, remove this, probably make it something like 8. No, it is 216, it's perfect. I want it to have a little bit of height. Yep, so 24, or let's say 40. No, 32. 32 should be fine. 32 is fine. Then 24 at this section. Or 16 is okay. Let's use 16 there. Then So what I need here is I want to have about 4 or 5. There is too much this in auto layout here, so I'm just going to remove. I think this is perfect and fine. So I'm just going to duplicate this and then make this let's say so we'll have our home section here. So we'll have home here. We'll have home. We'll have home. I don't know why this is. So let's make it this other way. So we use home here. Then I'm going to use search here. Search. Then I'm going to use, okay, we still think we might still keep download there. All right. So I'm going to now bring in settings and profile. So profile and then probably settings here. Settings. This is not the setting I brought, so I like my own settings better. Refresh settings. All right, so looking at this icon, they look small. So let's increase it from, instead of 40 to 48. Okay, so let's make it 48. So I'll do the same thing here. Lock aspect ratio 48. So the main icon inside should be this is still taking the form of, so I want it to fill container, so that would take 32, because it's only this that I have there. So this will be perfect and fine. Okay, so let's make this bridge a little 16. So let's say 16 by 16. Hmm. No, 32. We are using a web idea of this, so let's make use of 32 for this. But now this is going to have a little challenge. Because of the type of think, please confirm you can still hear me. Consistency here. Let's fix that. This is 24 by 24. 32, 32, 32, 32. Did I make any changes to this? Hold on, please. This is why it's better you always fix up your stuff in the components, because now it will be easier to fix up. So let's say I change this to arrow. Arrow right. Not this arrow. I don't like this arrow. Okay, so hold on please. Let's let me see if I can pick it from other libraries. Okay, so since this is giving me issues, okay, so I think this is better. I don't know why this is actually, what were we supposed to use here? I think we're supposed to use what was supposed to be there? Okay, history.
History.
Yeah, thank you. Supposed to have an history there. So let me just pick it so we move on faster. Um, so you have to be consistent with your icon choice. Okay. So we needed a search and history here. History. This download is fine, but I don't know why. Okay, so yeah. So but we are still having this inconsistency in this font. So I'm just going to replace this and then cancel. So I don't know what challenge this is having. Think sorry, let's format this. Okay. Think it was how I actually did that. That was the challenge we had. So just going to remove this. Let me bring in a component from our section. Just copy. So I'm just going to leave that section for now since that side is working well. So let's revisit this side. Okay, so this is going to be cancelled. This is going to be what did we call it? So this section is going to be download. Okay, so this section is going to be history. So this is where I still need to revisit this. Icon. Okay, so this is now working as I expected it to. So let's complete this section now. So I'm just going to copy to replace. Then this section is our home. We have home here, then search. We have search up here. Then we have what should we have here? I think downloads. All right, so we have download here. Then we have profile. We have profile here. So and we also have the likes of settings. So you can notice there are some inconsistency in terms of when it comes to setting when it comes to what we have search and also this looks more thinner than what we have. This should be 2 if it were to be an outline. So if I change this to 2, then you can see that is much more like what we are supposed to have there. Okay, so I'm just going to manually do this because okay, unfortunately our search is a vector, right? So I can't change that, but okay, we'll have to just manage it that way. So I'm just going to make this a component. Control Alternate X. Okay, sorry. Then so I'm going to paste it. So for my menu item, this is where I want it to be. So I want it to be towards this area. So I'm just going to be sure I don't have any need for, yeah, I don't have any challenge here in terms of, so I'm just going to align that. So the next thing I will want to do is we are just designing the interface. We'll have to tweak it later to resemble a VR experience or an AR experience, depending on what we want to achieve. So the next thing I would want to do is to have probably a section that shows where we'll have our videos. Okay, so this would have been much more easier if there was a sketch somewhere, or if we had an inspiration somewhere that we'll be using for this design. Okay, so I'm going to maybe probably make there's something I want to do. All right, so when we are prototyping this, there is something I want to achieve, and let me achieve that in this process. Okay, so this is how I want my search to be, but in the same vein, there's where I want to use this. Okay, so and I also want it that when, so I'm just going to detach this. I'm going to detach this. Okay, I also want it that when I click on this expands. All right, so not that. All right, so this expands. So this should be aligned to the left. So view container. What happened here? Line to the left. Hold on. What did I even use here? Interesting. Hold on, let me set this issue up. Mm. Okay, did I? Oh, okay. I see what's happened here. So I revert this, and with that, that is going to affect this. Okay, so instead of this, so this is now going to take my minus 90. Okay, if I pick 0. Okay, so because of what I want to achieve here, and I really want to use an auto layout very well in this, so I will need to pick up I will need to change this. I'll have to redesign this section. Okay, so this will be fine now. So if I take this 30, then put in the fuel we are using for now. Okay. Yeah, I think I even prefer using gray color here. So as I was saying, I want it that when I tap on my search, so I want it to expand to give me this view. So I'm just going to delete this, take this out, and then put it here, make it hawk. So I have that 40/40. So this is what I want. Okay, so this is what I want. So I'm just going to introduce maybe a text inside here that says search. Right, so this should be probably something like 14. So it doesn't take too much. Yeah, this is fine. Then this should be, I want it to be lighter. Should not really be that visible too. So I'm going to make it probably something like 80, still visible, 60. Okay, so let me see if my auto layout works perfectly. Okay, so it does. So I'm just going to convert this to a component and then combine as variant. Automatically, I'll just have to prototype at once. You go to your prototype, link this on tap. It should change to not really instant. So I need an auto layer. Should change to yep, but it should be a smart animate is in out. So the same thing. If I tap, no, that shouldn't change, right? After searching, that should remain, right? This should remain. But how do we go back? That would mean I'll have to introduce a function. I have to introduce another function here. So let's go back to our design frame. Put this here, and I want this to be closer. Yep. So I'm just going to make this 8. And take this to be fuel container so as to push this towards this. Then I'm going to change this to cancel. Yep. So, but my cancel should not be this big. The 16 by 16 is fine. Then this should just be 1. Okay, so Please note we are not using the main colors we're supposed to, or would have used for this. All right, so then let's take this. Just going to copy this. Let's go back to our design. So I'm just going to keep this somewhere around here. I'll come back to it later, but in that same vein, so this is 40, this is 40. If I increase this to 16, you're having 52. This is going to be fixed because of where I will use it. So let's make it 56 then. I'll put this in the center. Let's make it 56 then, and then 32. Okay, so this is because of where we are going to use it. We want users to be able to see this as much as we want them to. So let's design for the content inside, or for the content. So over here, I'm just going to create a frame. All right. So this frame, let's see. So it has to start from where we have our search bar to probably where our search bar ends. But this is now going to be, let's take this. So I'm just going to minus 88 plus 24 from here. Yeah, still not enough for me. Minus 88. Yeah, 150. Okay. So this is where we are going to be designing inside. So I'm just going to use 48 here. Yeah, so this is going to be there. Probably I can take this down. So let's say we fill in something here. So this is going to be where our content is going to start from. All right, so let's say we make this to be 50. 50. I love rounded corners, but at the same time I don't want it to be too rounded. 80. 64 should be fine. Okay, so we'll go with this 64. So this is where we want our content. So this is going to be aligned to where we have this, right? Sorry. So this is going to be aligned to where we have this. And in as much as we want this to, so we are going to now divide this section into 2 or 3, right? So I'm just going to duplicate this. All right, so I'm going to put one frame inside the other, but that should be, it should be inside of, right? It doesn't really matter though. So my 7, I'm going to shift it to this end, right? So this is going to be where I'm going to have some of the items where I can say maybe like latest movies, right? So this could be, it's just basically that what you are designing is just as your normal design, but in this you just have, there are some principles you need to take note of, like what we are having here as the container. This is, or let me change it to background. All right, so this is called, this is the background. So this could be maybe where the user is at. All right, and then yeah, where the user is. All right, so just going to yes, so this is going to be 32, or probably, yeah, 32 is fine. 56, 64 is okay, yeah. Oh, yeah, 64 is fine. So let me bring this. So we are going to bring in my search. My search is going to be inside of here 16, and this is going to be 24, right? So meaning my other components should not exceed this, right? This should not exceed this. So I'm going to have 24 yet, or 16 here too. So let me say that was going to be minus 2, right? That should give me 16. All right, so I'm just going to change. I'll take this. This is 18289. So let me just copy it, then go to the main component and then paste this. So I does not have to. So I'm just going to reset size, but it's still the same thing over there. So I'm just going to do this. This is the at default. This is how I want it to show. All right. So the next thing I'm going to do is I need a card. All right. I need a card. So I'm just going to get the size of the card that I want here. So for this to show, I'm just going to add a stroke just for the main time. So this will be changed later on. I don't need, this is just where a container to group my stuffs or to group my design into. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is I need a card. So I always advise persons, all right, when designing, use frames, all right? Use frame for your design. It makes your work more neat, and also it groups. I don't like it's yeah, me personally, I don't like groups. So right, I don't like groups. So that's why I like frames. And then also it will be easier for me to put it in an auto layout if I want to, easier. Right, so this is going to be my card where I'm going to have some of the movies. So this we're having 89, so I'm just going to make this to be probably 200. I don't want it to be that big. Okay, no, 200 is too small for this. It's going to make my design look awkward. All right, so I'm having this. So this is where I'm going to have that the necessary element I'm going to have here is going to be an image, and also the name of the movies, and probably what series is it under, is if it is under movies or TV series, or if it is under crime or thereabout. Then I'm going to also have an icon. Yes, I'm going to have an icon. So I'm going to use this particular icon design here. So I'm going to use this other one. Let me just carry it down here. So I'm going to use this other one. So this is going to be, I want to be consistent. So I'm going to use 1616. Okay. So then I'm going to change this to play. All right. So I'm going to change this to play. All right, so I want a user to be able to just click it and then to now navigate the users down to where they want to use it. So everything is a little bit perfect now. So I'm just going to copy this, right, and then go back to where I was having my design system. All right, so this makes my work neat. So I don't have to. So I'm just going to make this a component and then call this movie card. Well, thank God for Figma. Most of the elements I don't have to manually rename it, so it has made it possible that there's an AI that can do that for you. Just if you have access to it, and then rename layers, so that does the work for you. So it will tell you, no, depending on if you really want to. Already it was renamed, so there was no need for it to rename it again, except you want it to change, iterate on the names. So the next thing I'm going to have is I'm going to just click here, and then probably had a shape. All right, I'm going to add a shape. So this shape is going to be what will carry my is going to be what will carry my my background. So I'm going to send this to back, right? Just going to send this to back, and then click on the fill. We all know where to how to put in. So I don't have an image, so I'm just going to make an image with my AI. So I'm just going to say image of a movie trailer, trailer. So let's see what this comes up as. Okay, so well, I cannot use this till because of the version I'm using, so till September. But there is an AI I used to use before now that does this work. I can't get access to it. All right, let's see. Let me see whether this will do the work. If not, they will go the old-fashioned way. So AI image generator, image of a movie trailer. Just let me see if it will. It's going to give me anything. Let's just say movie of a movie. So let's see. Uh, well. I think we'll have to go the old-fashioned way. But let's see what this comes up as. But in the same vein, let me just get a clip. This is what I want. Where's my okay? Let's see how this comes up as. Nope, I don't like it. So let's go the old-fashioned way. So let me get some movie. While we wait for this, so I'm just going to make every necessary things that I need yet to be here. So we need a name. So let's just name it. So someone should bring a name. Give me a name. I think one of my favorite movie that year was Bookkeeper. Okay. So I'm just going to put this in an auto layout. My love for auto layouts. All right. So we need this to be a little bit to be bold or yeah. Okay. So 24. 24 will be too big for this because of where we are using it. So 18 should be perfect. 18 or 16. 18 or 16. So going to duplicate this once more, put it in an auto layout, remove one auto layout section so that it will be much more closer. Then change this from this to regular. So this is going to have like this is going to have like for okay so this is going to have like the details of whether it is a movie or whatever it is. Okay, so it's a movie, so I'm just going to keep it that way and then align this to this side and then drop this, put this. What size was this? This is big, 40. Yep, nope. So let's use 32 here. So I have to manually readjust this. Fill. Anyways, I'll have to let go of my auto of this section because of so that we don't actually waste time here. Okay, so 40 is fine here. Okay, so 16, so I need to add +2 here so that I can have that what's that? I'm supposed to add +2 or minus 2. Yeah, -2 it was supposed to be. Okay, so I have this. This is how I want it to be on that section. So maybe the next thing I could do here is, let me just make sure this is aligned. Okay. So I could just take this out, turn this to a component, and then bring it back in. So the reason why I'm turning this to a component is since this is a component itself, I want it that when I want to design this, or when I want to fill in an image here, I don't have to go here then click, except I don't have the image inside of here, right? Except I don't have that image here, then I can now decide to now go the old fashioned way. So I'm just going to copy this and then replace, copy, paste to replace. So we have this ready. So I'm just going to put this in an auto layout again, duplicate this, but this is too big. I need this to carry like, I need this to carry like possibly up to 3 to 4 of my design. Okay, so I'm just going to slash this to 150. Oops, 180 should be fine. Then let's take this up. Yeah, 24. So 16, 16. So I need it to have a little corner radius. So I'm just going to introduce 8 into it. 8 is not that visible. 16 is perfectly fine. So let's go back and see how it looks now. Anyways, you're still having, so I'll manage it that way. So just going to duplicate another. So 3 is fine. So maybe probably to show, make users understand that there's another one. So I can just put it down here. Then yeah. Then I think I can remove my frame now. Or what I can even do is I can just remove the field, remove this, and then this is already grouped inside here. Okay, so I don't need to actually, if I want to move this, as I want to shift it, I can just easily shift it this way. So the next thing I might want to do is I would want to introduce to users uh, the most trending, or possibly, first of all, let's make, well, this field is actually distracting my eye, so let me put a corner radius into it. So let's introduce a menu into this. But first of all, I need to create the container. I need to have a container here, right? That is going to carry this. So you have to maintain, can see it is on that same line. So I will use something like 24 here, or 40 to have it, to make it have a little bit of space. So let's see what we have at this end. It does not really matter. So the next thing I will do is I need this other think that's mostly how it's usually at in most cases in some websites where you see the most trending. Remember, when you design with what users are already used to. Okay, don't just come up with a design because yes, you feel like that's how you might interact with it. So I will just make this to lap because already this 40 is enough, and then there's also another space here which is 8. It's also enough for it, so no need for me to give it a padding inside of this. So whereas what I can do here is to remove it. I need a padding here to be about to be up to say 40 or 48. So let me just say minus 40. So that will have it 56. Yeah, that could be enough for what I want. I need a scroll interaction here. All right, so we are going to now proceed. So over here, I'm going to add this whole container is going to be an image. All right. So how do we can just proceed to add an image. Hold on, let me fix up an image. Let me bring up some images I might want to use here. But in the meantime, you can ask questions if you have any question to ask, or if you have, please do well to let me know. My network is a little bit crappy this, so just bear with me. Um, okay, so I need let me use this. Okay, so I think I have few that we could work with. So I'm just going to bring them in from my computer. So I'm going to use June here. Okay. So few fit. I need it to be. I need a landscape kind of. But we can use this, right? So we can use this. So I'll have to crop and yep. So this is why I need a landscape kind of design for this section. I need a landscape kind of. So let's see. Let me pick. I need a landscape poster. Okay. So while we wait for that to load up, so we are having this is coming out as we might want it to, right? So as you might want it to. All right. So the next thing I would want here is I need for now as we continue refining. So I need a text here to be probably like continue watching. Well, I'll put it in my favorite this thing, but I'll remove the padding because users don't see your padding, right? So users don't see that section. So 40 is fine. Then we'll use something like 24 here and probably something like semi-bold so as to make it come out. Then I also have another, so I'm just going to put this in an auto layout and then take it towards this end. All right, so I'm just going to put it at this end, then see all. So for my see all is going to be underlined, right? So I'm going to have this text underlined. Then I don't feel it's going to be this outspoken. So this is just fine as it should be. Okay, so we are going to manage that. All right, so the next thing I might want to have here is I wouldn't want to use the same type of card that I'm using at this section. But in the meantime, let me see something first. Let me see the ones that I have here. If it's going to be, yeah, I think this is better. This is better. All right. So I can now either crop it just to make some of them show. Well, the hitman does not really need to show because that topic is going to, or I might decide to write it out. So what I want this to actually show up, then Okay, so anyways, this down one can be there, but now I think I prefer having this. Then it feels like these are too close, so I think we're using 8 here, so 16 should be perfect. All right, so we should have a little bit of breathing space. All right, so as I said, I wouldn't want to use the same card at this continue watching. So because continue watching will have maybe the what you're watching and also a progress bar to tell users, oh yes, this is what you're actually watching. All right, or this is the level you stopped. Let me see, was I consistent yet? Please 32. So this should be need to put this here so I can move it. So 24. We use 24 here, so that's why I am making that. So let me just make this to be fill so as to yeah, so 16 to give it breathing room. All right, so all right, so I want to design another card for this section. So what I might do is to just duplicate this, remove it from this, and then I want it to be not should be a portrait kind of. All right, should be portrait like. And should there be any call to action button? Maybe or maybe not. So but let me remove it for now. So this is going to be different. This is going to be some probably 14, and this is going to be a much smaller version of it, 16. Why are we having this space here? Okay, this was centered align. Okay, so I'm just going to use Hawk because I don't want any extra rooms. So this 8, 16, 16. Okay, so I'm going to take this up. Then I'm going to introduce a progress bar here. Why am I always bringing in text here? So I'm going to introduce a progress bar here. So let me do it inside here because I want to maintain consistency. So I'm just going to put it here. And unfortunately, what did I use there? So I'm going to use a drop down 0. So we have our frame here. So it is going to use fill container, not really. So it's going to be this way. Let's make sure that it is aligned. 9, 9. That's not what I want. So I'm going to add plus 2 to it. Not this. Hold on. This is what is determining the length of that. So I'm going to add plus 2. Then this is going to be hawk, which is going to hawk that container inside, and this is now going to give me what I want. So I'm going to take this out now. Then make a progress bar. Progress, this use 12 here. Then I'm going to fill this with gray color, then duplicate it, take one of them inside. Okay, so take this out and then change the color to probably a primary color. So that should notify users. So this is going to be too big. So 8 is fine because of the interface we are designing for there. So I'm just going to cut this or probably make it a component. Then take this, I can call it a loader, copy it, and then paste to replace. I already have it here, so I'll just paste to replace. And then we are almost done with that section. So the next thing I would want is I'm going to take this down. Oh, this is not going to. So I'm just going to cut this and then paste this here. All right. So I'm going to remove this entirely. All right. So what I want here could be details. So let me get details from some way. I need a landscape design. Okay, so I have a landscape design here. I think I prefer this. Please hold on. Let me get details for an upcoming movie for for UI. Yeah. Okay, so would have something like this. So this is just a copy. So then we could have probably also another details here. So this is okay. So this is going to be fuel container and not hub. So I'm going to reduce this much smaller. All right. But anyways, we don't necessarily need to put everything here. So this can just go out. Then we need this to breathe. It's too congested, so we need to attach probably 8 to it. And now this is a little bit perfect. So let's remove this from an auto layout. Okay, so that they can have their the same. All right, so this is fine. But this is not what I really want. So I need it to well. I wanted it to not to have this size, but to have something like this. Okay, this is how I wanted it to be. So I'm just going to readjust my elements inside to fill to this. Okay, so I'm just going to put 16 out here. 16 will be too much. 8 out here, or probably 4. Yeah, 4 is fine. Then I'll have to probably have to reduce this to probably like 6 or 4 because of the interface, and then we probably need to reduce this to something like 8. 8 is okay. 8 is fine. Okay, so I'm just going to change this because I want this to remain the same. So the height of this was what? 8. So we'll make it 4. And then we'll make the inside also 4. Okay, so I don't even understand what is going on with Figma though. But anyways, we have to manage it that way. There are some functions that that is supposed to be easier for me to navigate this, but it's not working. I don't know why. Okay, so this is how I want it to be. Okay, but at the same time, this text still looks big, right? So this text still looks big. So instead, I'm just going to yeah. So I'm going to make it a component and then copy it and proceed to my design. Right? Just take note that we are just working on the UI for now, right? So we are not yet, we've not started on how probably we might want it to be. Well, this is too small. Yeah, this is too small. So we are just going to scale it up here. So we are going to scale it. Now there are going to be some cost of the scaling 233. 233. So I'm going to rework that section. This is 4. So I think this could be better, right? this could be better. So let's let it breathe. All right, let's let it breathe. So that means I'll need to make it a little bit high to 50, and then probably just sum this to 200. Sorry, 200. Yeah, I think this is fine. This is fine. 200 to 50. So in normally Figma had an option where I can actually what changes I made to an instance that I can send it back to the component. All right, but I don't know why it's not there. So we said this is 200 to 50. So I have to come in so that I can readjust most of the things we did. Okay, so just going to expand this. Okay, so let me increase this to 8. All right, so what I will do here is I will now come here, reset instance, and then it will automatically carry what was there instead of me to now come and be designing from scratch again. So I'm going to use 24 here. Then we're going to do the same thing. Yeah. Okay, so this means there is a scroll functionality here, but I wouldn't want to put that because of time. So we're almost done with this section. I'm just going to remove this, attach this to this, continue watching, so that because these are together. Yep. Then, well, I want this to be here. So I'm just going to delete this. I think what I would have done here in this case was I would have this space would be too awkward, right? So what the best thing that would have happened here is for me to 24, right? For me to manually readjust each of them at that time. Then from there I would have gotten a state for it. But anyways, we just have to manage it the way it is for now. All right, so just going to let me change this. This is still looking awkward. All right. Fill container, which I'm going to choose crop because this is how I want it to show. Okay, so I can even decide to still take this a little bit down, not that way. Okay. So we can have some of the, yeah. Okay, so we are almost there. I want this to have, all right. Then this should probably something like 8 should have a room, probably, or 16. Yeah. Okay, so I might probably need to readjust this manually. Okay, so the last thing or not really the last thing, one of the second to the last, I don't know though. I want to do is I want some details here. So what I will do is let me just copy it from here or duplicate this section, take it down here. Not you. Take this down here. So this will be 24. This could be 40 depending, but that's by the way though. So I'm just going to change this to probably doesn't really needs to be exactly what is there. Just going to use the copy that I have for this. So it's going to be few. So here I'm going to put another copy. So let's say so I could use this other copy here. But what I'm going to do here is I'm going to duplicate it again because I want it to, oh well, I think this is going to be fill container. In as much as it's going to be fill container, it's going to be troublesome. So just going to expand this to some extent. So let's see. Why did that turn upside down? Don't know what happened there, Sha, but it happened. So this is going to be, we have this. We also have this to be the next one. So this is going to be fill container so that this can fill it. So we're just going to take this up a bit. But I'm going to manually readjust this because I don't want it to take that full. So this is where I want it to be. So I can maybe reduce this to 14. Okay, and then increase this to 18 or 20. 20 will be fine. No, 20 is still small. 24. All right, so we have 32 here. We have to be consistent. We have 32 here. Anyways, the other functions we could add here, but well, time will not permit. So I'm just going to put this way, or let me just say hawk. So that will hawk the container. So what I might need here might be a button, or it's not might, it's I need a button here. So I'm just going to duplicate this, change this to 18, and then put this in an auto layout. So this could be play, and then I also need an the best practice is I would have just turned this to a component though to use it, but I think let's not do it that way. Let me just do it this way because of time. So I'm just going to use this as download. So I will introduce an icon here. I don't want this to be in all libraries. I want it to be in this. Well, let it be recent too. So I need play. So I want it to be at this end. So I'm just going to change them to white. So just change them to white. So this is going to be download, sorry, play, and this is going to be download. Download. So my download has to be white. Okay, so I might now decide to let's okay, I think there's one last thing we need to do, then we can now start working on this. So the next thing I want to do is I want to introduce a menu towards here. So this is 24. So let me take it down. I'm going to rework on that. So I'm just going to use a text here and then name it menu. Okay, put it on auto layout, and then I think this, I might want this to be in okay, I want this to be in, so I'm just going to turn them to a component set. Okay, so this is going to be a regular, right, which I'm going to have other items, and then this is going to be my active states, which I'm going to have a field inside of it. So we will readjust most of these things. No, this should be 100, and this is going to be probably something like 80, 60. 60 is fine. Okay, and then we could extend this to 16, and then this is fine. Then we could now make this rounded. I love rounded corners, right? So all right, so let's bring in an instance of it, cut this, and then paste it here. All right, so where were we? So this is our item. So I'm just going to place this towards this in 3. So this is 1. Yep. So let's use it towards this, but I want it to be this other type. So I can now call this maybe a TV show. Then create an auto layout. So this auto layout, I'm going to remove a 0 from it because I want it to then duplicate, but I want it to take this other way. So this is where we now say hawk container, right? So this section, I don't need it to highlight, right? So this is hawk. So this, I'll now move it towards how I want it to, depending on how many we are using. So what is the distance between this? So maybe you could take it to probably 24. So you could say TV show, maybe drama. So now we are going to start working on our UI now. So we could say movies, all right? So we could also say series. We could also call it crime. Then we could also have something like horror, right? Then we could also have maybe cartoons. Then let's see. Yes. So I'll also introduce, say, I said we are going to have something we call notification here. So I'm going to introduce notification into this. So going to, okay, think notification. So this is okay. I see why this was confusing me. All right, so we need a notification here. All right, so the next thing I might also need is I need a sort. But before then, I think I might need one more button here. Probably should be more, depending if I want to see more, right? So and yep. So I might also need probably let's see, what might we need here? Okay, so let me duplicate this, just use this for consistency's sake. So this, I'm going to call it maybe this could be maybe our sort. So I'm just going to call this letters. So over here I'm going to introduce so I'm just going to, how would I want, yeah, I think I'll prefer this method for my letters, right? So I'm going to introduce an icon to this. So but before then I'm going to have, I need to remove it from, yeah, I need to remove it, then change it, take it this in, then this is white. Auto. Now, why I use auto this, I want everything to be inside that container. So everything is inside the container where I started from. So, but this section, I want this section to carry, I think 24, it looks too big. So 16 should be fine. And this should have a little bit of room. All right, so now we are almost done with setting up our UI. Well, I said something when we started that if I can't finish what I needed to do for this, that well, you have to go and complete it yourself. Okay. So yeah, right. So I might decide to, this is too far away. Uh, yeah. So let's see. 80 should be fine here. And this is, all right, so we have 96 to be our height, then we also have 80 to be this space. So if I change this to, that would be 96, just to be consistent. All right. Then here is our sage, and I think this should be 48, not this. So I'm just going to change this to 12, and that is going to change that to what I want. This is what I was looking for, push to. Then, okay, so I'm going to, yeah, 16, want it to show a little, and this, let's see 24, so that it does not look too small. Nah, don't still like it. Okay. So if we see here, this is, and then we have here to be 19, 19, 16 to 20. Okay, so there we are. Okay, so we are done with this section now. So it's now to make sure our text is being seen. So if I should play this, let's use our normal prototyping for this, or normal prototyping screen for this. If this should come up here, just for us to see it in full screen, we can see that most of the things we are not seeing well, actual size and width. So most of the things are not showing well. All right, like this, where we are having this Marvel and the rest of them, we are not seeing those section well. So over here, we are now going to work on tweaking this so that so for here, we are now going to add a black and an overlay. So how there are ways you can add an overlay. You can either add a fill to this directly, or if you want it such that you can now use linear right on this. What I mean by that is if you use a shape first. So if you apply, let's say, a rectangle to this. Okay, so let's say I apply a rectangle to this. So this is not inside of where I want it to be. So I'm just going to click this, then paste this inside and then align it. So if this is it, so I, instead of me using just normal fill here, and then probably let's say let's use this, then change this to 40. So I can then use a linear, so that yes, I don't want this other side of it to be this. So I'm just going to copy this, paste it here, because this is where I want it to be darkened. Then I'm going to reduce this section. Yeah, then probably also reduce this section too. Then we can take this way. So if we go back to our design now, you can see, but the text is not still coming up. This is because the text is under this our, we want to put an overlay to the image and not the text. So what we will need to do now is to bring this up. So we are going to bring this up, right, page up, and then this is going down. So let's undo that, because I want to be able to take this. So I'm just going to take this page up. So if we come back now, so you can see our text has come up as it should do some. So we are done with this other one. So the next thing we do here is we want to tweak this, but no, let's just allow it. So we'll have to do this too. All right, we'll have to do the same to this section. What happened here? Hold on. Yeah, I think I know. Movie card. Here container. Then why has it cut? Okay, so let's do the same thing here. So I'm just, so over here I'm just going to add another. I'm going to take this down. I'm going to bring this down, all right? Then this, I'm going to increase this to 20, uh possibly 40, so as to make it come up a little more. Okay, that will not do what I want it to. So let's introduce this. Okay, so take this towards here, and then change this to 60. But this is where I want it to. I'll always advise not to use pure black for any of your design. Right, so let's see how that comes up as. So I'm just going to take this and then make this probably 60, 40. Okay, so now the same thing we did. So you're going to send the card downward, or let's just bring this up. All right, so that will solve the problem. Okay, so okay, so now I would want it that oh, so let's tweak the inside of this. All right, so this a container holding this section. So let's start with our nav bar. All right, so let's start with this section. So we to introduce a glassforming effect into this. All right. So the first thing we are going to do is we are going to add a fill here. So your fill is going to be something like this. All right. It's going to be hard. And what you might want to do is to reduce this. All right. So I'm going to yeah. So okay, let's say we use something like this. So let's say we use something like this. I'm just going to reduce this to 60 or let's say 40. So I'll have to change this stroke here. I told you we are going to change some things here earlier on. So we're going to change this to white, right? Then fortunately, this also carries this. So I'm just going to change this to white. Right? So this is also going to be white. Right? This is also going to be white. I'm going to use white there. And this is also going to be white. This is also going to be white. So what I will do is I'm going to come here and then maybe probably detach this and then change this to something like 40 again. All right. So I think that's what I will do. Then do the same thing here. Change this to detach this and then change it to 40. So our interface is coming up to life. So I'm just going to remove the stroke, or no, for the stroke, we are going to add white, right? So I'm just going to add white to the stroke. And why adding white? So this white is not going, I'm not going to use a direct white on it. So what I will do is I'm going to turn it to a linear, right? So it's going to be a linear white, right? It's going to be a linear white. So let's see how that is. So I want it to be this section upward, all right? So that's how I want my white to be. Okay, so another thing we can also add to this is we can add an effect. And I think Figma has now directly what is glass, all right? So you can add the glass and then you choose where you want it to, how you want it to be, how deep in you want it to be. You can notice how the glass is coming up, right? So it's a glass forming effect. So before now, the was can see it is a beta, right? So you can see how that is coming up now, but I don't want it to be that too frost. I want that my background, because you want users to also see what is happening and why they are wearing that lens or whatever they are wearing. All right. Ah, Vera, you said morning heist. I did not see that. Okay. So now we are almost done with this section. So we'll do the same thing to our nav bar here. So what I might do here is I might just push to the main component. All right. So I just had to do it here so that I can see how it comes up. So I push, let me just push to the main components. All right. So the next thing we might want to do here is the same, it's not might, or we'll do the same thing here. All right. So we'll apply our 50. Is that what we applied? Hold on. Uh, let's see. So what I did here is I just copied it directly from where we have. But here I don't want this to be I don't want it to be highlighted apart from this other one. Right. So what we'll have here is I'll change this. Remember, we need our stroke here to be white. And but I'm going to detach it because I want it to be this. Just take it down here towards here. All right. So now our icons need to change from this to white. All right. We'll put our icon as white. Then I'm going to detach this. and then make it 40. So we can now go ahead to add our effect, but to be consistent, I'm just going to come to where we were before, select it, copy. Remember how we copied prototype, so you can do the same thing to your effect and then paste it. So my effect is going to maintain here, but I still need to tweak it because this section does not have the same height as it does in the other side, and the angle is not the same, right? So I can decide to tweak it as I want to, right? Then first let it have a little bit frosty at this end, right? Because that's my menu. Okay, let's see. All right, so you can change your angle. At what angle do you want it to? This is where you rotate your angle, and then how do you want it to be? All right, can take it to 0, can take it to let's say 40, right? So depending, so I'm just going to maintain it as 68. All right, so the next thing I would want to do here is to make the same effect on the body itself. So we will now continue. So what I will do is I will make this show, right? So when this shows, then okay, let's start with this. So I'm just going to detach this and then change it to this and put this what put this at this other end. I love it when it is corner to corner, like, all right. Then 50. You won't see that effect now because I'm using a solid background inside with a full opacity. Okay, so the next thing we might want to do here is, let me see, is my glassformic effect here. All right, so I just pasted the glassformic effect I did, and this is what we have, right? So yeah, so this has reduced this to 10. But I also want it to have this is too blurry, all right? So users can't really see what is happening inside. So we'll have to tweak that from here, right? So fracture, this is at this edge. Yeah, right? So deepened. So let's take it all down. Or should we take it all up? Yeah, taking it all down all up does almost the same stuff, but it is a lighter version of it. So it lightens it over here, deepens it, and here lightens it. All right, and then we have our depression. Yeah, nothing. It doesn't. This one most times you will not really see it. So first, if I take it down here, you can see it blurs everything inside. But well, no. Let's reduce it all to the down because I don't really want it today. Or even if I want it, I can take it to be at probably 4. 4 is fine, or 2 should be better. So if we come here, this is how it's showing. Wait, hold on. All right, so this is it. But how do we really make this come out? So let's see. Did I prototype this all? Because I want this to maintain how I want it to be. I don't like, and yeah. And well, let's, yeah, I want this to take it back to this section. That's why I brought in that. All right. So and then let's paste our, hold on. Let's paste our effect. But because of how it is, we'll just have to rework it because of the field effects that we have here. So I'll just reduce the field, take it down to 70, and that will, or 40, sorry, and that will come up. But yeah, okay, so let's see. So I want this to be white. I want all my thing to be white, right? Then I want this to also be white. Then this should also be white. Okay, so there we go. So it's coming up as we want it to. So I'm just going to did I detach this? Yes, I did. So it's not going to be a problem to me. So I'm just going to remove this and then make it a component, copy it, go to the main, paste it, paste to replace, then go back here. So the reason why I'm doing this is I want to work on this. Then what after which I will now introduce, I will now take it, move it, push it to, well, it's not even bringing it up for me. So the idea was to push it to our, but I think this is fine. This is fine, but with a white, with a white, with a white icon here. So I'll use a white there, detach this, paste my glass for me. Make this 40. Hold on, what happened here that okay, so let's use this then. Okay, so this is it. Just going to copy to replace, not really. Let's go to where the component is, the main component. So this is the advantage of working with a component. So I just have to paste to replace here, Control Shift, then go back here, and every other thing has changed to that. Okay, so I don't need you. I don't need you, right? So if we go back to our main, so it is coming up as we want it to. So the next thing we are going to tweak now is going to be our play button and download. So just going to, so let's take this out because this is not supposed to be here. So this doesn't confuse our users. So okay, so this is where we want it, we want to go to. So I'm just going to work with the two of them at the same time, right? So I'm going to work with the two of them at the same time. So I'm going to, there's going to be a fill, but the fill is going to be 40, right? Then there is going to be a glass forming effect. So I'm just going to choose glass here. Then we are using rounded corners, so let's maintain that. So this should be 16. Let's give it a little bit of room. Okay, so I'm going to take this back 16, 16, so 24, but I want it to be here, so I'll put it down. Yeah. So let me use 12 here, so that you should maintain 48 as it's supposed to be 50. Now, all right, so if you see how this is, if you notice the slant version of this, that's because of the linear we used, or yes, the angle, we also apply this. The angle we applied this, all right? So all right, so the next thing, yeah, so if we want to change it, we can change the angle at which we want it to come. You want it to be towards here, and I think I prefer it's coming out from, coming up from top to, this has really changed the way our UI looks like. Would have to do this, to achieve this, would have gone through a lot, all right? Would have gone through a lot to actually achieve this. But this Figma has made it possible for us not to go through that lot, right? So I'm just going to change this to 40 and then apply my and then please confirm you can still hear me, because I think
We can hear you. We cannot hear you again, no.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah, there's going to be a change of the mic as off. All right, so let's keep on tweaking this. So we had our before now, one of the ways we usually get this effect was using background blur, all right? So yeah, it was always using background blur and then maybe changing this to yeah. So but well, it's not as perfect as we have now on the glass morphic effect, right? So we change this to glass and then not you change this to glass and well. So yes, we have to change this to linear. If I want it to cover up what we are having, so something like okay, let's take it this other way. Hold on. Let me tweak. Let me see something. Right. Okay. So yeah. So that's my active state. So I'm just going to hopefully yeah. So hopefully Figma has that. So if I push that, if I say this should be my active state, so that still maintains. Well, yeah. Um, where were we? So this is another version of it where we can now. I'll just have to because this was the same component we used, just that I had to cancel it at a time. So I'm just going to copy this and then take this down here. So we have that there. I'm just going to change this to 40. And well, this is not coming up as I wanted it. So we use linear for this. And then, so we'll have to tweak this more at this other instance. All right. Yeah, and here I want users to be able to see this and this is a button, so I want users to be able to see it well, all right? I want them to see it well at this age. So if we go if we go towards this section, all right, so this is what we have. Please hold for me, all right? All right, so then the next thing, so the next thing we will want to do here is I think we are done. We are done with what we okay, we have the notification section of it, all right? So it's blocking users view. All right, so unfortunately, yes, let me see. Can we push to? Yes, we can. All right, so I will just have to tweak at this age, remove this, not really. Let's detach this and then make it probably something like 40 or 20. Okay, yes, 40. Then white. But this is darkened, all right? So we want it to be much lighter. We want it to be lighter. So what we'll do is we'll take this towards this section, right? Not okay, let's take it towards here and then deepen it, we'll take it out, then correction, then well, we don't want it to be this. So let's give it users room for them to see what is happening there. So I'm just going to take this and push this to the component such that here can also change to that. But here we did not use that. This section we did not use that. So let me just let's just fix that. All right, so just hold on to the last stage of it. So we are almost done. What's that? Paste, copy to replace. So I'm just going to change these icons to arrow. Okay, so no. So let's see. I think we had it inside of here. Arrow, right? Well. That's what is going to happen. I really don't understand why these arrows are playing this expensive play with me. Okay, so let's say arrow. I think one of the things Figma might do. So let's just manage this type of arrow for you. But yeah, because I don't quite understand why. You just have to manage this. This is outside of my frame. Why? Okay. This will not work. This will not work. This will not work. This will not work. Not detach, sorry. Reset. Let me reset instance. Yeah, that will not work because of where it is. So, okay, so I'm just going to let's do this as it is, right? So let's do this separately. Let's do this separately. I think would have if we had done that, we would have finished since. So I'm just going to choose class and well, let's take it from top. But you can allow it to be that way because of how we've been using it before. Okay, so let's make this. I want it to show well. So let's make it 20. Okay, so I can push to the main component so that this can also update. Think we are done. So, but over here, the color I use for this nav bar is not the same color I used here. So you can see the difference. So is I would prefer to make this, or is it the same? Linear 100. What did I have here? Okay, hold on. Let me work on this. Linear. Yeah. Okay, so now I'm going to push to the main component. Okay, so let's see how it comes up as. Let's wait. All right, so it's as updated. Let me see. I think our notification is still bad. Here is supposed to be a white. That's yeah. Okay, so let's see if this is how it is. So how will it show if, let's see if we have done the right thing. So how would this show if it happens to be at night? So yeah, if it happens to be at night, you can see because of the design decisions we made, you can now see that users still don't have a problem executing this. All right. I really don't understand why this section is like this. All right, so let's just see how can we view this. All right, how can this be viewed? So there were other things we're supposed to do. We're supposed to see if I click on show all, how it's supposed to now show up, how users can now navigate that. All right, but this is what I'm going to do. I'm just going to duplicate this and then drop it here. And what I'm going to do here is we don't have time again. I wouldn't want to keep us here till this again, except on otherwise we will, if unless we want to. but if not, I think I have time for us today. So yeah. So I'm just going to do something here, just to show you how this works, right? Just to show you how this works. Okay. Just to show you how this works. Let me see what best way can I do this? What best way can I do this? So let's say, let me change this. Let me change this. But I think there is another way I would have done this. But let's just work with this. But before that, hold on, I have to do some things. So this is why I'm renaming content or layers is fine, because now I don't have to be looking for where some content. I just have to look at my this section here, and then I'll now know where to now select on, or where to select. All right. So if you don't have this functionality, that means um you'll have to do that yourself while you are running it. So this is what I want. I want this section. Okay, so this is where I want. All right. Okay, so I want to replace this. Please tell me that this is, yeah, okay. All right, so what I want to show us here is how we can navigate between this. So I'm just going to let's call this drama then. Let's call this drama. Okay, so let's call this drama. So let's prototype. So over here, you do your normal prototyping, okay? It's your normal prototyping you do. You don't, there is no any other thing you're doing. So yeah, I'm just going to do our basic prototyping to this on click. So we want it to be on smart animates. All right. So well, this is up to you. So then I want my TV show. If I click on TV show, that I also want it to take me to this end. So I'm just showing you the basics. You can do a lot of things with this. So if we play this on our normal, hold on. Let me just delete the cancel this. This updates here. Let's wait for it to update. Okay, that's so if I click on this, you can see how this switches. So another way I can make this so that this can be a little bit this I can just interact and switch this, all right? And just switch this so that if we change to drama, there can be differences, all right? We can see the difference more clearly in this. And then I'm going to pick the money heist I was being given so that, well, I'll do justice to the fact that someone dropped something for us. So just going to, well, what's that? Thought I copied it. So money heist, right? Okay, so now let's do the last thing. All right, so the last thing is we are now going to launch this in a VR or XR or AR or environment. Okay, so what we can do here is, or what we are going to do is, we are going to now go to um our draft XR. All right, so going to our draft XR, so you click on new drafts. So you can now name this let's call it Netflix. All right, so to create a private draft, you have to use maybe a paid version, a premium version. So we are going to create a hold on. What did I click? It's always free to update your existing. Okay, so unfortunately, we can only create one draft. So except another thing we can always do, or you can always do, is maybe use a different account for this. So you can log out. So let me log out and then let me log out and then let me show you the sign up process for this. So when you click on that section, I don't think you'll see because I think I didn't. So you just have to let me use another email for this. So uh ah coming. Think I changed my password on this. Boy. Okay, so let I have already, so you can see what we have here, that we are asked to input an IP key from after signing in. So that's when after you signed in, that's what happened. So just a minute, let me sign in with this. Okay, so an IP address has been given, has been provided. So I'm just going to um come up and then enter that and then click on register. So registration has been successful. All right, so this is a draft I did already. So let me delete this and then let's have an empty one. So I can just call it maybe Netflix as we wanted to. All right, then we create public drafts. Okay, so first of all, you need to select on this particular the screen first, all right, before you can then you can now create. Hold on, please. So we have, it has to be 1920 by 180. So let me see. 1920 by 180. Now the reason why this is not working, mm, mm, is because we will have to flatten our we'll have to flatten our elements. All right, so let's see, let me see if just flattening one could be enough, but I doubt. Hold on, we'll have to flatten. This is going to be flattened, right? Yeah, even our icon also needs to be flattened, but this is going to be a lot. But hold on first, do I really need to flatten all this first? Okay. I don't think we need to flatten this. Incorrect artboard dimension. Where am I making a mistake here? Width is 1920 and then height is 812. So let's me be sure of what I'm doing first. Let me remove this totally because I want to be sure it is from my end. Okay, so draft XR. So no draft found, new drafts, KodeCamp. Yeah. So I don't know where this is from though. Because if this is supposed to, let me, is there any of this that is above what it's supposed to be? La 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 la. Mm. Well, I don't know why this is not loading up. I don't know why this is not loading up. But let me see my practice screen. Well, let's see something. Let's flatten this. Let me see if truly I'll have to flatten my elements first. That's not it. So what is really wrong with it? So you said 1920 by 1080. So let me cut this, paste here, then run it again. Let's say starting point. And it's even telling me to fix main container. Okay, so I really don't know what is, but let's see. Let me check. I think there was some way I did a practice this thing. So let me. So hold on, please. Let me pull that up. Oops. And I did not share screen. All right. So please confirm you can hear me well. All right. Thank you, Theophilus. Okay. So let me reshare my screen. Okay, so I'm going to let's see. So let me share my entire screen because of what I want to show us. Need to share my entire screen. All right, so when we select on draft AR, so XR, so we are asked to create a new draft. So in this, let's log out entirely. So when opening with this, so you'll be asked to sign in. So I'm just going to sign in with my email. So what comes up is now going to be copy your API key into the plugin. So which you'll have when you copy it, you go back to your Figma and then paste it and then click on register. So that will tell you registration done. So to click on the drafts, you click on this and then you choose, you type in a name, then you create public, but you're having a challenge of this and I don't want us to stay on this. So what I will do is I'm going to use a design that I did while trying to test the interface. So I've removed everything. Okay, I'll just have to, but let's see something. Okay, so let me allow it to be there, except do not tell me that it is the inside that is causing it to. So let me copy this. This is in a frame. This is also in a frame. This is in a total frame, which that is their suggestion. But let's see. 12. So I'm just going to paste it inside. Yeah, Theophilus, let's see your thought process too. Okay, so let's see something. So let's remove this. So let me send you drafts, KodeCamp. Still one and the same thing, except prototype. Yes, there is a one, and this prototype two. So just remove this out. So let's run that again. Still one and the same thing. So let me go back. I will troubleshoot that later to find out what could be the cost of it. But in the meantime, so let me use this other one that we have here. Okay. So let me see if this works too. Well, this is working. So why is the other one a challenge? This is working. So after creating a public draft, so you wait for a while, it's going to create it, and then it will now take you to a web page which you are going to see this. So this is loading up. Uh, so we have this to be our interface. So if you can now see, users can, it is showing how users are actually working with this. So how this works is Tefla, don't worry, we'll look into that. Let's see. So how this works is if I click on, if let's say if I wanted to click on this particular section, so you see the red line here. So this red icon we are seeing here is what helps users navigate. So, but the angle we are having here, well, it's something you can always tweak. Going back to where you have here, where you can always tweak on your positioning. So this is where you can do all your if you want to change your background to actually a real this. So let's say take for an example, let's pick this, say for an example. Hmm. Okay, so that's wrong, but we should still have something. So let's take this for an example. So I'm just going to download this. All right, so this should also appear here within a period of time. So give it a while. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so after which you need to publish draft. Okay, when making your changes, after making your changes, you need to publish the drafts, which it was supposed to, the live refresh was supposed to work on that. So yeah, the live refresh was supposed to work on that. All right, so you can always change if it's a union and I click on, so let's see if that is going to do the work for us. Okay, so let's see, let's duplicate this and then change. Let me see if that is going to work, because I don't know why that other one was not working. So from the computer, it's going to pick this. Then this is going to be, let's say, movies. Hmm. What did we have here? I think this was crimes, right? Or drama. Okay, so then let's see the prototyping if that works, because that is supposed to work, except so let's publish our draft and see how it looks. So let's go back here and then if I click, so let's say I click on drama. I think that did not load and finish. Oh, I think that's not working. Okay, so anyway, so this is how the interface is. So I'll check what's really the challenge of this, because this is supposed to work. But anyways, so that's how you make something like this. Okay, so that was a click. This was also a click. Yeah. Okay, so think so. Do you have any question? Think let's call that a day. Zina, go ahead.
Good evening, everyone. Hold on, sir. Please, I
Okay.
want to ask that. What does it mean to flatten an element? What does it do to that element?
To flatten means well, you make it well to say a little. You let's say you change the weight of it, all right? Flatten it as yeah, you change the weight of it, you make it reduce.
Will it affect the UI of the design?
Depending, you don't flatten everything, okay? It's not everything. I think it best is mostly objects and it's mostly it's mostly vector. It's like changing it to a vector. Let me just explain it. So when you flatten an element, you change it to a vector. You cannot edit it. So imagine you changed a text to a vector. You can't edit that text again. And also to flatten, it's let's say you can select two things or three things to flatten, and then once you flatten it, all of them they're meshed together. All right, so they're meshed together, so you can't edit it. Yes, it will affect the UI if you want to actually if you want to do something that you can edit later on. Apart from, I think you can also you can edit the colors or thereabout, but you can't edit the content itself of which of the particular elements you have flattened. So it's basically turning an element to a vector, and it's mostly text and shapes that is being done on. So you can't flatten an image.
Okay, so why do we flatten then if we cannot edit?
Uh, you do not you do not get it. I said we flatten because we want to reduce it and also make things together. Like yeah, and also merge. So most times this is being used when it comes to, I think, logo. All right. Yeah. It's so and also when as I said earlier, like the merging part of it. So you flatten because you want to convert it to an outline. You don't want it to maybe um you know if you should how do I even call it? I think how do I even explain this? Because in Figma, if you don't have a font that well, it does not really change the font as per se. But at the same time, me personally, I don't use flattened, all right? I don't use it. Um and also if but most times if you want to export most of your elements, it's always advisable you flattened it before you export. Yeah, especially when you are exporting SVGs and icons too. So that's why most people are flattens it. And as I said earlier, it merges shapes. It merges shapes together. If let's see something. Um let's go back to Figma. Let's see. So that this can explain more. So let's say we have rectangle A, and then we also have rectangle B, something like this. So if I select these two and I click on flattened, all right, so this is what happens. This is turned to 1. This is 1 now. So you can say well, you can still edit this, but you can only be limited to it as a vector. So you can only edit it as a vector, meaning with vectors, that's where you can change your color and you can add strokes to this is the only things you can see that Figma has changed this particular side. So these are the only things you can do with a vector, and that's when and there are some things you can there are some times you really need to flatten an element before you can actually use it. So let's see. Let me see something. Let's say hold on, let me see a better example to give for this. Yeah, Tiflos, that's yeah, complex shapes. Yes, to reduce it basically. Yeah, to reduce complex shapes. So that's majorly one of the reasons why people flatten it. But I want to see a better example to give with this. Let me see if this works though. So let's say okay, so I think Tiflos have just said let's just speak it with the smaller distance. So Tiflos says to simplify complex shapes, making them one whole, or to reduce layer cutters. Well, yeah, so that is it. So, anyways, Zinab, you know the reason, or you know the functions of flattens now. So to use it is up to you actually. All right. So it's not a necessity. Me personally, I don't even use flattens. That I've not really had that reason to use it because yeah, I've not really had the reason to use it. So, but there might be a reason why you'll have to use it. So that is it. Okay, so any other question? Okay, so I'll take that as a no. All right, so in our next week we'll be looking at case study. So I think that will be the last topic for on Friday there might be no class or if we're having class. So and also I'll reach out to us on the platform to know when we are going to have a revision class, especially for the last task. All right. All right. So also if you've not submitted it, so make sure that you submit your tax. New tax is dropping next week. So we'll have the revision class before the new tax is dropped or the new tax dropped. So between tomorrow, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, I'll reach out to us to know when we are meeting and what time we are meeting. But if we are going to meet, it might be towards the evening time. So just make sure that we are available. I might use one of our design that we have done already. I don't want to come up with a new design. So we just have to work with what you have and then also redesigned it at some point. So